Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and I hope you push the subscribe button and press the bell to be notified every time I upload another video. In today's video, I'm going to be making these two trays. Let's go ahead and get started. For my first DIY, I'm going to be using two of these Dollar Tree mirrors and foam board. I removed my mirrors from the frame and placed them on top of my foam board, and then I traced them out. Then I am going to cut out my foam board piece. I used this piece as my template to cut another two just like it. Now I'm going to be hot gluing them together. Now I'm going to glue my mirrors on top of the foam board. Now I'm going to be using this piece as a guide to measure the length of the sides of my tray. Then I use a tape measure to make the sides 2.5 inches wide. I made a total of 4 of these pieces, and then I use a straight edge and my X-Acto knife to cut them out. Now I'm going to be using this mirror reflective paper to cover up my foam pieces. Before folding down the edges, I remove the protective film and cut out little squares in the corners. And I did this with all 4 of my pieces. Once I was done with all 4 of my pieces, I glued them together. Now I'm going to glue them to the sides of my tray. I added a generous amount of glue and held them in place until the glue dried. I also added more glue on the bottom to make them sturdier. Now I'm going to use the tray as my guide to measure the length of my other 2 sides. I once again made my pieces 2.5 inches wide. I also made a total of 4 pieces and cut them out. Then I covered them up in my mirror reflective paper. Once I covered all 4 of my pieces, I glued them together. Then I glued those pieces to the sides of my tray. And I also add more glue to the bottom of my tray to make it sturdier. To cover up the bottom of my tray, I'm going to glue on this faux leather piece of fabric that I have left over from another project. Now I'm going to be using these mirror mosaic tiles to decorate my tray. I cut them into strips of 2. The mirror mosaic tiles have adhesive on their own, so I didn't use any extra glue for this. I used them to cover up the edges of my tray. Then I cut my mirror mosaic tiles into singular strips and used them to cover up these edges. I also placed a strip of mirror mosaic tiles along the perimeter of the inside of the tray. Now I'm going to be using these cabinet handles that I bought at Menards to decorate my tray. I'm just going to be hot gluing them in place. The handles are not meant to be functional, they're just for decoration. To make the Chanel logo for my tray, I used Google Images to search up for a Chanel logo that I liked. Once I picked one that I liked, I used PixArt to create a frame for my logo. Then I printed that out on glossy photo paper. To protect my logo, I'm going to spray it with a little bit of Mod Podge clear sealer. Once the Mod Podge had dried, I cut out the logo with my paper cutter. To glue the logo to my tray, I used Mod Podge. And this is how my tray ended up looking. I really love the way this tray came out. Nobody would ever think that it's made out of foam board. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. This other tray is really easy and simple to make. I used this 12 by 18 frame that I bought at Walmart to make my tray. I took one of the cardboard inserts from the frame and I covered it up in this marble contact paper. After I finished covering that up, I placed everything back into my frame. To create a logo for this tray, I used PixArt, and I looked up for a Chanel logo that I liked. Once I picked one that I liked, I used the same app to create a frame around it. I searched up for a square frame and picked one that I liked. Once I was happy with my image, I printed it out on glossy photo paper. And I cut out my image using my paper cutter. Then I just used the glue stick to glue the logo on my tray. Then I replaced the mirror and my tray was done. And this is how my tray ended up looking. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.